Can a single thought actually make you rich? I mean, really? It sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? But what if I told you that every huge fortune, every game-changing invention, every single world-changing movement, it didn't start with money. It didn't start with connections. It all started with just one powerful thought. It almost sounds too simple, right? But this is the big secret that's been hiding in plain sight for over 100 years.
Dear book lovers, and welcome back to another high-speed book summary right here on Summarypedia. You know the drill. We're here to bring you more titles in less time. And today, oh man, we're diving into one of the most influential books ever written on wealth and mindset. Our goal? To break down its timeless principles so they're fast, clear, and something you can actually use.
In this episode, we are digging into the incredibly powerful and super practical lessons from the one and only Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, who is this for? Honestly, it's for anyone out there who just feels like they're capable of more, you know? Whether you're an entrepreneur, a creator, a student, if you're ready to turn that ambition you feel into real, tangible achievement, then you're in the right place.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to unpack the sheer power of a single idea. Then, we'll talk about how to level up a simple wish into what Hill calls a burning desire. After that, we'll get you set up with a mental toolkit for success, look at the make-or-break test of persistence, meet the man behind it all, and finally, we'll wrap it all up into 6 concrete steps you can take. Sound good? Let's do this.
Okay, first up, the power of an idea. Let's start right at the beginning, with the one truth that really everything else in this book is built on.
This is it. This is the big secret. All achievement, all earned riches have their beginning in an idea. It's not about the money you have in the bank. It's about what you have in your head, your mind. That is the real source of all wealth. Think about it. Every skyscraper, every tech giant, every incredible piece of art, it all started as a tiny, invisible spark of a thought.
And look, this isn't just some nice, feel-good quote. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years of his life proving this. He studied over 500 of the most successful people of his time, and you know what he found? This was the one thing they all had in common. So remember this, it's so important. What you can hold in your mind, you can eventually hold in your hand.
All right, so if it's really that simple, why isn't everybody rich? That's the big question, right? Well, this is where Hill makes a really important distinction. There's a huge difference between just wishing for something and having a burning desire for it.
And this really breaks it down perfectly. Wishing for something, that's passive, it's weak. It's basically just hoping something good falls into your lap. But a burning desire, oh, that's a whole different animal. That is an all-consuming obsession. It demands a plan. And this last one is key. It means you burn all the bridges behind you. There is no retreat. Victory is the only option.
Let me give you a perfect example of this. There was this young guy, Edwin C. Barnes, and he had one single all-consuming obsession. He was going to become a business associate of the great Thomas A. Edison. Not work for him, mind you, but work with him.
Now just think about the hurdles he was facing. The guy had no money, he had zero connections, he didn't even know Edison. By every logical measure you can think of, his goal was completely and utterly impossible.
But here's the thing. He didn't have a wish. He had that burning desire. It was a white-hot obsession. He somehow got himself to Edison's office and basically just refused to leave until he got a shot. He started with a low-level job, but he never ever lost sight of his real goal. And guess what? It worked. That desire put him in the exact right place at the exact right time, and he ended up partnering with Edison on a new invention, the Ediphone, which made him an absolute fortune. Okay, so if a burning desire is the engine that drives you forward, what's the fuel? Well, that's where Hill's mental toolkit comes in. These are the tools you absolutely have to develop. First up in the toolkit, faith. And we're not just talking about hope here. This is a deep, unwavering belief, a total conviction that your goal isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Hill has this great analogy. He calls faith the head chemist of the mind. Why? Because it's the secret ingredient that mixes with your thoughts to give them real substance and turn them into actual physical reality. Next up, we have specialized knowledge. You know, Hill famously said something that a lot of people get wrong. Knowledge is not power. It is only potential power. See, knowing a little bit about everything is nice, but it's not going to make you rich. What really matters is getting the specific knowledge you need for your goal. And then, this is crucial, organizing that knowledge into a practical step-by-step plan.
So where did these plans even come from?
Well, they come from your imagination. This is what Hill calls the workshop of the mind. It's the place where you take that burning desire, you take your specialized knowledge, and you literally forge them together into a blueprint for success. I mean, think about it. The entire Coca-Cola empire, that started as just one single idea for a formula, cooked up in this very workshop. But look, having the desire, having the faith, even having the perfect plan, that's still not enough. Because the world is going to test you. It's guaranteed. It will throw what Hill calls temporary defeat right in your path. And this next part, the test of persistence, this is where almost everybody quits. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. It might be one of the simplest sentences in the whole book, but man, is it powerful. Persistence is that force, that grit that carries you through all the inevitable setbacks. It's the power that keeps you moving forward when every single fiber of your being is screaming at you to just stop. Hill tells this incredible story about a guy named R.U. Darby and his uncle back in the gold rush days. So they hit this massive vein of gold ore. They thought they were set for life, right? They bring in all this heavy machinery, and then, poof, the gold vein just disappears. They kept drilling and drilling, but nothing. So finally defeated, they just gave up. So they sold all their equipment to a local junkman for just a few $100. But this junkman, he was a little smarter. He went and hired a mining engineer who looked at the site and said, you know, the vein is probably still here, just on the other side of a fault line. So the junkman starts drilling, and he strikes gold just 3 feet from where the Darbys had quit. Can you believe that? 3 feet away from a massive fortune.
So you have to be asking, where did all these amazing stories and these powerful ideas come from? Well, to really get the full impact, you've got to understand the man behind the blueprint, Napoleon Hill himself.
Hill's whole journey started way back in 1908. He was just a young journalist, and he managed to land an interview with Andrew Carnegie, who was at the time the richest man on the planet. Carnegie was so blown away by this young guy that he threw down a challenge. He asked Hill to spend the next 20 years of his life, completely unpaid, by the way, studying the secrets of success to create a simple philosophy that anyone could use. And Hill said yes. 25 years later, Think and Grow Rich was the result of that epic quest.
And just look at the list of people he studied. We're not talking about academics or theorists here. These were the absolute titans who built modern America. We're talking Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, the list goes on. Hill had access that nobody else did, and he spent all that time just distilling the mental blueprints of the most successful people on Earth. This book, it's literally their collective wisdom all in one place.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. Hill takes this entire philosophy and boils it down into a super practical 6-step formula. This is the how-to for turning that burning desire into actual real-world riches.
This is it. This is your 6-step checklist to take with you. Number 1, have a definite desire. You have to know exactly what you want. Number 2, unwavering faith. You have to believe without a doubt that you can do it. 3, specialized knowledge. Go get the specific info you need. 4, vivid imagination. Use it to create a rock-solid plan. 5, organized planning. Take that plan and put it into action consistently. And number 6, and this might be the most important one of all, unyielding persistence. You never, ever, ever stop until you succeed. Seriously, these aren't just motivational posters. These are the literal, practical steps that build the bridge from your thoughts to your reality.
So when you look at all of this, the real question isn't, does this stuff work? We know it does. The real question is, what are you going to do with it? And it all starts with that very first step. So I'll ask you, what is the one definite purpose you are going to commit to, starting today?
Thanks so much for watching. If you got some value out of this breakdown, do us a favor and hit that like button. Comment, share, and definitely subscribe for more high-speed book summaries from Summarypedia. We'll catch you on the next one.